Howdy, howdy.
Welcome to Winston Wednesdays. I think we may make it a thing. We'll try it out. I'm Samantha Brown, the corporate research chef here at the factory, and we have Chef Barry Yates here, the king of the Collectramatic.
a new title.
I know. It's got to be something different.
Yeah.
You wear so many hats and you have so much experience. You don't have a lot of
That's
titles.
funny.
So we're going to be discussing pressure frying versus open frying today in the Collectramatic. And we've got some demonstrations for you. We're going to do some pressure frying 8-piece chicken. And then we've got a myriad of products that we're going to open fry. But first, I'm going to drop this chicken. And while I do that, we've got an animated video for you guys to watch. It's about Collectramatic 101.
Kentucky is known for lots of things: horse racing, bourbon, and the most finger-licking good chicken on the planet. There's more than one way to fry chicken, but how do fast food restaurants do it so quickly? It's simple. They do it under pressure. Pressure fryers cook higher volumes faster, use less oil, and save on utility bills. Food is juicier, more tender, and absorbs less fat. How does a commercial pressure fryer work? Start with hot oil in the fryer, lower the chicken, close and lock the lid. The water in the chicken heats up, which creates steam and builds pressure. While steam is normally 212 degrees, a pressure fryer allows it to get around 250 degrees, which in turn cooks the chicken faster. Towards the end of the cooking, the fryer releases excess pressure. The result? Perfectly cooked chicken with a crisp exterior and a juicy, tender interior. Make it easy to cook under pressure with Winston's Collectramatic Fryer, a workhorse designed for a legend. Request a demo to learn more.
Even though it's simple, it gives away all of our secrets.
So the basic question, what's the difference, really?
I think this is a long way to answer that question. One of the secrets, though, to understanding the difference between pressure frying and open frying has to do with the lessons that me and you teach every day about CVap. And that is to understand that food is water. So it behaves like water when it's heated, right? In open frying, you take that beautiful chicken, which is water, you put it in a hot vat, and it starts evaporating moisture because it's water. And that moisture just goes in the atmosphere. In pressure cooking, where does that? It's not magic. It starts evaporating, but that moisture is captured in the cooking cavity, so it doesn't escape. It creates a back pressure, and that pressure can be anywhere from 3 psi to another full atmosphere, and that elevates the boiling point of water, so that allows the chicken or whatever you're cooking to get to a higher temperature, so it'll cook more quickly. Simple. Food is water, and if you trap that water vapor, it creates the pressure, and that pressure elevates the boiling point and allows you to cook chicken more quickly.
Plus juicier.
Plus juicier.
Tenderness. Tenderness.
Okay. It's another interesting question. It used to be when we created this cooker for the Colonel, the birds took about 6 months to get to full weight.
6 months. So from chick to farm.
And they actually ran around in the barnyard.
Right? Free range.
And they actually built up collagen and connective tissue and all that.
Right.
Today, they take 6 weeks.
6 months down to 6 weeks.
They don't build up connective tissue
Right.
because they're not old enough. Their skeleton doesn't require it. And they aren't out running around happy as you please.
Building all that connective tissue.
Right. So there's really no need for tenderization on chicken. But one of the things we did today, I think, is ribs, right?
Yes. That's a rib.
So pressure cooking will help break down connective tissue and help tenderize the meats that you may benefit from having that done. So that's why we did ribs today.
We also have an A-line or airline or suprema breast, where it's basically a boneless breast that still has the skin on, and then it's got the little drumming from the wing that's been
Yep.
French, couldn't think of the term. And you told me that I could potentially make that tough if I pressure fry. Did I get that correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Because depending upon what temperature you allow that product to go to, and also the building up pressure on the breast, which has next to no fat.
Right.
It'd be like over steaming a chicken.
Right.
And that's one of the things when you're looking at open versus pressure, understanding what you're wanting.
I think I just realized that. It's like cooking a fillet. Like cooking a fillet to well done.
Yep.
Or something like that.
Exactly. Exactly. Another thing I think that's important in understanding the uniqueness of frying still goes back to our lessons on water. Okay, so when we're cooking in an oven, what's the medium that you're cooking with?
So that's indirect air.
Air. The medium is air.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're cooking in CVap, you actually enhance that medium with water vapor.
Right.
When you boil in a pot, water is a pure medium. When you cook in a pressure fryer, the medium is shortening.
Yeah.
The difference in the energy delivery between air, vapor-laden air, water, and shortening is astounding. Shortening by far is the best medium as far as heat delivery. So that shortening can get all the way up to 450 degrees, depending on what type of shortening you're using. Water can only get to 212. Steam can only get to 212. Air goes to 450, but it carries the energy like it's 150 degrees. So that's what gives you the unique product that you get out of frying. And that's whether you're pressure frying or open frying. So one of the things, this is another technique I think that you're going to show that I like to do with pressure fryers or open fryers is finishing. So I like to pair C-Vap with the fryer, whether it's open or pressure, and get the product to the exact perfect temperature, and then finish and get the texture that I want super quick.
I think a lot of our customers do that. I think
Yeah.
they enjoy cooking it 95 to 98% of the way.
Yep.
And whatever medium that you're doing, like staging burgers or whatever it is, it's just another technique using CVap with finishing, using Collectramatic frying as a finishing medium.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
so you get the consistency.
Yeah.
And you get the speed of service. And just prepare to finish. It's beautiful.
Awesome. How many more minutes we got over? We got a few more minutes on that. Let's see, what else can we talk about? There is, so the differences between open and pressure frying. We've pretty much covered that. I think, do you guys have any questions? Anybody from our audience here that has any questions for us at the moment?
I can tell you another thing too, that we tend to see between pressure and open is most pressure cooking systems have racking devices that gives you uniformity of placement of the product in the shortening. So ours, you used a clamshell,
Yeah, we've got a clamshell that we're using right now.
which will show you, but we also have, this is a quarter rack.
A quarter rack, what?
Well, first of all, each one of these will have one head of chicken. I'll give you a lesson on that in a minute. So this actually will hold 6 8-piece cut birds. And the reason we call it a quarter rack is you take one rack and another, and you will have 2 quarter racks for a half sheet pan, 4 quarter racks for a full.
Kind of like the same deal with hotel pans. You got a full-size hotel pan, you got a half-size,
Right.
third size, so it's a quarter rack because to a full-size sheet pan.
Now,
Genius.
and all of our different competitors out there have their own system, and they're all good because it gives you consistent placement of the product in the shortening. Whereas open frying, it's random, so you have less consistent cooking in open frying
Oh,
versus pressure.
okay. So speaking of oil, what's kind of the mainstay for oil maintenance, I guess? Like how often?
Shortening life and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So very interesting. Again, the design of the Collectramatic took all of that into consideration. Let's go back to pressure first.
Okay.
So as you cook, as you place your chicken in the Collectramatic, it'll displace the shortening, and it gives you very little head space at the top.
Okay.
Why would that be important? Because the pressure that you're building up is coming from the moisture in the chicken. So the more head space, the more moisture is coming from the chicken to build that pressure.
Okay.
So we designed that specifically to take the least amount out of the chicken that we were putting in the fryer. Some of our competitors have a much bigger headspace,
Mhm.
so it takes more time to build the pressure, and it takes more moisture. We tend to have more moist chicken than anybody else that's pressure frying because of that design feature. I saw was one of the questions about shortening life.
How often do we filter? Do you have to filter?
Okay, so our recommendation on the Collectramatic is that you filter once every 20 rounds.
20 rounds being if you have a 4-head or a 6-head, that's 1 round? Or what?
Yeah, one
fry?
round is 1 cycle.
Gotcha. Okay.
And in a high volume, quick service application, you probably filter twice a day, one in the afternoon and one at the end of the evening. But there's some that require more than that. But most of the other fryers on the market, you have to filter after about 5 rounds.
We have another question about boneless breast. So what temperature, I'm assuming what temperature to finish? Is that, per food code in the US, 165 on chicken. That's the finish.
That's the required finish temp. Yeah.
That's the required finish temperature. Now, for our staging purposes today, I can't see it, I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses on today, guys, so I'm not even going to try to
Yeah,
squint.
and I do, and I still can't see it.
Will's going to help us out. What temperature for boneless pressure fry?
Oh, the cycle itself.
Oh,
Well, that's going to lead us into a whole nother conversation, which is really good because it's something else we need to understand. When pressure frying or open frying, people don't understand the correlation between time and temperature. Temperature controls texture and browning. Timing being the cook time, timing controls the doneness of the product. So recommended cook cycles, and what was the product Will, I'm sorry,
boneless chicken breast.
boneless chicken breast. I would tend to go on a low end around 300 degrees. And it's probably going to take 6.5 minutes.
Depending on the size?
Yeah, depending on the size.
Yeah.
And that is going to be an ideal cycle for that. I like the lower temperatures because you're evaporating less moisture from the product, and it's going to be a very juicy product.
Especially with the breasts,
Yeah.
right?
Now,
Yeah.
something that's really interesting that for fried chicken historians, the Colonel thought the best cook temperature for his chicken was, I think is like 287 degrees. So he did not
Very
even,
specific.
yeah, he did not even cook above 300. And that turned out for him what he thought was a very tasty product. Now, another very interesting thing about pressure cooking that people, pressure versus open. Pressure cooking, depending on the temperature, and open cooking, depending upon the temperature, flash off flavor volatiles. Pressure tends to do so less than open, but temperature absolutely impacts the flavor intensity of your spice mix. So the hotter the temperature, the more you're going to flash
Flash
off.
Yep. Oil absorption. Passive.
Pressure versus not. The interesting thing about that is there's no difference. The question is discuss oil absorption and pressure versus open. When you cook fried chicken or any breaded product, if the shortening temperature is hot, is the correct temperature, you are going to be creating evaporation from the product. So there won't be absorption anymore in open versus pressure unless the shortening is not the correct temperature. So given that the shortening is the right temperature, there's probably going to be little noticeable difference. So Sam, how's our chicken looking?
It's looking good. Looking mighty nice. So let that sit there a minute. Let it drain and then I'll bring it over
Oh.
to the table.
Beautiful color. Beautiful
Yeah.
color.
Yeah, yeah.
So you cook 4-headed chicken?
4-headed chicken, and the size was about 2.5 pound to 2 3/4.
So what does 4-headed chicken mean?
4 head, 1 head means 1 whole chicken, an 8 or 9 piece cut,
8
right?
or 9 piece or quarter cut?
Or a quarter cut,
Yeah, but a
Okay.
head is one chicken,
one chicken.
one whole chicken.
Okay.
So I have a quiz for you.
Okay.
This is the old school Dewey Dewey's.
Dewey Louise.
Dewey Dewey's guru of all chicken frying
Oh, okay.
outside of Winston. So how do you count head of chicken when you're frying chicken?
I feel like this is a riddle.
It's a
A little bit.
little bit.
Okay, I don't know the answer. You have to tell
Okay,
me.
so you count the number of legs and divide by 2.
Walked in
that-
right into that
You
one.
did. That's
I
a
did.
Dewey Dewey's. I walked into it so
Awkward.
many times, I can't tell you. I'll give you another one. Okay, this is another one for all of you all.
You
A
tell
lot
he's a
of you
dad,
probably
right?
don't know,
He's
but-
such a dad.
Dewey was a great friend. Actually, his son still is a great friend and works here in the Louisville area in our market. But I learned more about frying chicken from him than everybody except for Winston. And so this is how you explain moisture in chicken frying, okay?
Okay.
So what do you call shortening or the grease when it's in the cooker?
You don't call it grease? Oil?
Shortening.
Sure. Oh, well,
Okay.
yeah, I walked into that.
What
one
do
too.
you call it when it's on the floor?
Grease.
Grease.
Okay.
And then what do you call it when it's on the chicken?
Deliciousness.
Moisture.
Oh, okay.
Those
Well, I
are-
think fat, going back to culinary school, fat is flavor, fat adds flavor. So I'm thinking,
there
flavor.
you go. Flavor.
Yeah.
That's,
But yeah.
Those are the two most
Moisture.
important things I ever learned from dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you want to look at that chicken?
Let's bring it out. Let's bring it over here. Let's get my gloves on. We've got some holding too. We'll pull some of that out as well. Just give me 2 shakes. Give me 2 shakes. I'll bring this over. One last little.
So you're having to handle how many different pieces of chicken?
Well, it's 4 heads, so 4 times 8, 32 pieces.
32 pieces.
32 pieces.
With the quarter racks, you would have to handle 4 racks.
Right. Yeah.
Time
So.
and
you-
labor savings.
Right. So you just. You see that tool?
Yep.
You don't even have to hold it, but yeah. So this onto there,
Yep.
or vice versa.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so very timely question. Just had somebody ask, how long can you hold, I'm assuming fried chicken, but chicken in the CVap? Actually had a call or emails, conversations this morning about not fried chicken, but roasted chicken. But
Yeah.
this is the rule of thumb that I've learned in over 30 years of dealing with fried, roasted, barbecue chicken. I do not recommend that you hold any chicken product, no matter how it was prepared, longer than 2 hours.
Wow.
And there's a color distinction that occurs in the meat, the protein itself, not in the breading. The breading would be fine, probably 3-4 hours. But there's also a flavor transition that happens, and I think it has more to do with brine versus not brine. But inevitably, 2.5 hours, there is a flavor transition that is not preferable for the chicken. So that is the time frame that I recommend. That time frame might be able to be extended if the temperatures are a little bit lower. And it might be shortened if the temperatures are a little bit higher. And that goes to determining how, do you want it, how hot do you want it? So if you're holding it at 180 degrees, it's not going to hold as long as if you had it at 165 degrees. If you had extreme evaporation going on, it's not going to hold as long as if you had original recipe type of holdings going on. Want to show you some things to look for in fried chicken.
What pieces did you say you wanted?
A thigh and a leg. Let's look at a leg.
A leg. I'm missing a wing on this.
This is I can use that, can I?
Yeah, you can go right there.
People will always ask me, how do I know if the chicken's done? And this is the best way for me to show you. I don't know, Will, what you're looking for. Can you pick that up pretty good?
It looks good on our side.
What
Don't
you're
know.
looking for is that caramel. Do you have a French knife that has a stronger blade than that?
Probably not right now.
Okay.
Sorry.
But that's, you're looking for that chart, that color right there. on the bone marrow. If you get that chocolate, you're in perfect. You're exactly where you want it. And you want to do the same thing. You want to look for the same thing on the. You want to look for the same thing on the thigh. If you get that done, that requires an endpoint doneness of about 185. Your breast is going to be at about 170 when your thigh gets to 185. But that is perfectly cooked chicken. And I don't know if y'all can see that, but you see how nice and juicy. Yeah,
Yeah.
looks pretty tasty.
Thighs are my favorite cut.
I'm
I'm a thigh person.
a leg and thigh guy.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Same
dark
here.
meat. Dark meat.
Yeah.
I'll eat chicken if it's there. Wings, of course, but let's see what I have done with some jumbo sized party wings. I did an overnight brine. So yesterday we put them in a brine, pulled them out today, laid them on a full size sheet rack with a rack on top of it, and put it in C-Vap at the program 200 on the vapor, 200 on the air for about an hour. And that gets your internal temperature of the chicken up to about 170, between 170 and 180. And we're going to fry those straight from C-Vap into the fryer.
And why would you do that? That way.
That way, well, my personal preference is I don't like a breaded wing. I like a crispy skin without any of the flour or what have you.
Yeah, but what even if you can do it if it was breaded? That why would you do a 2-stage cycle?
Oh, so for like a chicken wing, like a large party size wing like that, there's a lot of connective tissue in. That's kind of my mentality is breaking down some of that connective tissue with CVap instead of cooking for 7 to 8 minutes, 350 or what have you, in an open fryer. The bite on that product, and I've done a lot of this, it's really toothy. It's too toothy. So it's still like 80 to 90% done in CVap and finishing it in the fryer.
Yeah.
So it's cutting down that texture, or cutting through some of that connective tissue and breaking that down first.
Well, and forget about considering that if you were cooking to order, you would be at a service or a ticket time of 12 minutes.
Right.
Whereas
Speed of
if you
service.
do it in staged, you have chicken that's sitting there perfectly prepared, and then the finishes you're delivering in 3 minutes. So 25% of the cook time.
We have a question about what
About what?
is the Collectramatic different from everybody else? The difference between our Collectramatic.
The immediate answer is in the name of the fryer, the collector.
Come over here.
Yeah, you go ahead and knock our wings out. The original design on the Collectramatic, actually, I wish we could show it. We have a deep code zone, and Winston designed the cooker to have gravity filtration. So as you're frying chicken, anything that falls off the chicken would go into the shortening and fall into our code zone. Oh, thank you, Will. What a beautiful prop. And this sits at the bottom, and that's our code zone. So what ends up happening is anything that falls off the chicken or anything else that you're cooking goes into this, and there's about a 75-degree difference between this and the cooking shortening, and that keeps your shortening from oxidizing and extends the shortening line. The cylindrical design also gives better heating disbursement through the shortening. Our coils are wrapped around, and they're actually in the shortening, so we have good heat transfer. And then the final thing is the pressure system itself. we developed a pressure system that's based on dead weights. So there's no mechanical parts. There are moving parts, but they're non-breakable, easy to replace parts. So that pressure fryer, as it sits there, will operate in good standing for 25 years without question
Or more.
or more. So I'd say longevity, extended shortening life, and quality of chicken. That's the difference.
So the chicken wings came straight out of the CVap. I've got them in this open basket fryer, and we're going to go into 350-degree Collectramatic fryer for probably about 4 to 5 minutes to get a nice color on it, good crispness, and they're already fully cooked. So we're just looking for that nice exterior crispness that we want. I'll set my timer.
What's that? We've done the same thing with turkeys. We actually have done duck the same way. And I don't know how many of those set points have been documented, but yes, we've done that. And there have been conversations while we were discussing this episode of Winston Wednesdays, if maybe we shouldn't do pressure fryer 201 instead of 101.
Right.
So
we're really poultry heavy or chicken heavy specifically.
well, yeah,
chicken
but
heavy,
we haven't even touched on brining,
Oh.
importance of brining. We haven't talked about
Yep,
variety of products. So there's still a lot
it's a lot.
to be covered. So maybe you guys should send that to Sam and I,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we'll do another episode.
Yes, let us know in chat if you guys have any ideas for future presentations, future demos, subject matter that we need to, or you guys are curious about.
Yeah.
Any sort of inspiration, maybe, what have you, anything, let us know. We have ideas for content for days, but if you guys tell us what you want, that's what we want to do.
It'll make it more relevant.
Yeah,
right?
more relevant, more valuable.
Yeah. So how long are we gonna do those?
About 3 to 5. I've got a timer for
Yeah.
for 5. So, but we'll be checking on them.
Okay,
Airline chicken breast or ribs?
let's do ribs.
Okay, let's do ribs. I'm glad you said.
And this actually, yeah, this is cool. A question that I have been asked frequently over my years working at Winston is what is roasted chicken? What is roaster? What's the difference between Winston pressure frying and a roaster? And the only thing is that you aren't breading the product. You're just pressure frying an unbreaded product. So these are roasted ribs. We can do roasted chicken.
Right.
Uh,
Those wings are considered.
those wings are roasted chicken.
Okay.
Tell them what we did with our ribs.
So this is a spare rib that I cut down into St. Louis racks, and then we quartered them and on one of them, and then we made individual ribs on the other. We did a little dry rub on the outside of it with a little extra salt. So it cooked in CVap, a pro cook to 195 internal temperature at 200 on the vapor, 250 on the air. I'm going to guesstimate, and I can go back and pull my HACCP data and see how long that took. Guesstimating about 2 hours. I've done a time cook before, so that's kind of where that time is coming from. So the goal is in temp and a texture. So we know that connective tissue breaks down at a certain temperature. We know that if you get in the range of 195 to 205, you're going to have that nice pull to tender off the bone, you know, that texture. And then from here, as soon as the wings come out, we're just going to drop them as is into the oil for, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes till they get nice and caramelized on the outside.
And texture.
And the crispy texture. Yeah. So nice and soft on the inside, crispy on the outside, just like the wings.
And you could just take your regular smoked ribs and finish them this way.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they could
Yeah.
be traditionally smoked barbecued ribs.
Yeah.
And finish them.
In the fryer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like that texture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like them on the grill with a little sauce. Yeah. Texas Roadhouse does that. Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I stole your technique, Texas Roadhouse, for my house. But yeah, there we go.
There you go.
All right. All right.
Need a, I was gonna say a bigger bowl.
I hope I have a bigger bowl. I can get a bigger bowl. So this chicken, it was brined. I did just a really simple brine overnight. I think I said that before, but it was just salt and sugar. Nothing crazy, just simple. Nice and simple. Keep it simple around here.
Whoa, those look great. Look at the color on it.
Yeah, thank you.
And what, if you want, I'll go ahead and get these ribs in while you're finishing that. Do you want just the individuals or?
Oh, both actually. I was going to
Okay.
go both. So from here, what can you do? You can serve them naked. You can toss them with a little bit of sauce and out the door they go. So the C-Vap did, you know, the majority of the work. And all you're doing, like we've said before, is finishing in the fryer to desired texture and color preferences that you desire. And again, it was 200 in C-Vap for about an hour. And then straight into a 350-degree fryer for about anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. Of course, your temperature can go up and down. It all depends on what you like. So we're going to make a little smorgasbord over here. So hot sauce or barbecue sauce on these wings, y'all. I hear really high-pitched hot sauce. Hot sauce it is. Hot sauce all around. Buffalo wings it shall be. Who are some of the customers besides KFC that use Collectramatic? Who are some of the customers besides KFC that use Collectramatic?
We have Root and Bone. We have Joella's Chicken. We have Lee's Famous. I could just keep going on and on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about 3 or 4 minutes on those, or 3 to 5 minutes on those ribs too. So
Those look great.
we
And
got
smell
some
great.
of that. Okay, maybe a little flourish. Oh, I had a couple minutes on my hand.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Garmage 101. Professor Hickey, you'd be so proud. We have any Solomon grads in the house? You would know that name.
Chef Hickey's a dear friend of mine. Great chef.
I learned so much from that man.
Beautiful plate of wings.
Yeah. Oh, Fader flaw. I forgot my blue cheese dressing.
Ah!
I know. I'll be tarred and feathered later. Let's see how we're working over here. Getting there. All right,
Yeah, that's got 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes?
2 more minutes.
All right, let's get these Supremes out. Look at those puppies. So we're just going to do a really simple breading. This is, again, the airline chicken breast. So it's a boneless, not skinless breast. That's got the little wing joint still on it. And this was cooked in C-Vap for, I think it was about an hour at 160 on the vapor. 190? I'm forgetting what the air was.
190.
190, okay, all right, there we go again, second guessing myself. For about an hour, and then I just had it kind of holding,
It looks just juicy as,
yeah.
looks beautiful.
So, I mean, you could cut into it right now. If we want to bread it though and give it a little fry, again, just to finish. For color,
And does the breading, does it adhere to the chicken pretty well with this process?
it does. Now, I will say that I forgot, there's a little zhuzh in the bottom of the pan. And that's really all you have to do. Just dampen it
Uh-huh.
with a little bit of zhuzh and a seasoned breading, or yeah, seasoned flour.
And this
That's
is
it.
going to be a much lighter.
Yes, it's not like
It's
a,
not intended to be like fried chicken.
no. Are ribs ready?
Ribs are ready.
Word. So from here, I would treat them just like you would those barbecue wings, right? Serve them naked, serve them as is, sauce on the side. Today, we're gonna add some sauce. What kind of sauce we want? We got buffalo and barbecue.
Barbecue.
Barbecue, oh.
Do you
Oh,
have barbecue?
I do, I've got barbecue. We got a little bit of
Look
barbecue,
at you.
you know.
I didn't see that hiding.
Little barbecue sauce. I'm just gonna go straight right there.
Okay,
Barry.
cool. They smell great.
We could have CVap smoked these, couldn't we?
We could have. That's why I was asking though. I don't think I've ever finished smoked ribs in the shortening. I wonder if you'd end up getting some smoke transferred into the shortening.
I would think so.
I
Yeah.
would think so. too.
It's kind of like once a CVap goes smoker,
Yeah,
or maybe, you know, there's some restaurants that what they just use a whole deep fryer for duck fat.
Yeah.
Duck fat frying fries.
Yeah.
Say that 5 times fast.
I can't.
I can't either. Whew. But you know, maybe
Those
it's
smell
a
great.
designation.
Yeah.
A fryer that's designated for that.
Why don't you cut one of those so, or
Absolutely.
I will.
And I am going to draw these 2 to 3 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes.
And then let's-
I will say I really like doing the probe cook on these because I know what my end temperature I want to be,
yeah,
and you know, it's
Those
just a no-brainer.
beautiful ribs. Beautiful ribs.
Yeah.
Like I say, that gives you an idea.
Yep.
What about you? What do we have coming up?
Oh, from a live event side, we've got Spencer Cole flying in, I hope, from California, and we're going to be talking about some inspiration, CVap inspiration. So some of those things that maybe you didn't think you could do in CVap,
Okay.
like smoking, like
Just some, maybe
proofing.
something on the
yeah,
more creative side that you might
Yes.
not normally think about.
definitely a little bit more outside of the box.
What about canning?
We will touch that subject a little bit. Yes.
Ah,
Yes,
cool.
I think we should definitely do that, at least have a discussion about that, because for one, I posted something on Facebook. Just a quick reminder, guys, if you guys are on Facebook and have any burning questions about CVap or, Winston Company in general, come check us out, CVap Operators Group. Thank you. And it's basically an open forum. You can pose a question, have current customers or people that are working here, myself, the sales group, answer them and give you some really good advice, maybe some tried and true set points that we know that are successful and be successful for you. So it's a great group to connect and discuss all topics CVap. Woo-hoo.
We're gonna talk about beautiful looking chicken breast.
Then the month after that, so we've got a couple things lined up in the next few months. So CVap Inspirations are next one, and then after that we have Jesus Iglesias from Texas. He's coming in, and we're going to do some Latin fare. I don't want to pigeonhole us and say we're just doing Mexican type cuisine or Tex-Mex or what, but Cuban, Caribbean,
Okay.
what have you. So we're still lining up what we're going to do, but it's going to be a really nice one, I think, and a theme day, and that'll be in August. So
Cool.
yeah. So contact us on social media, and you'll have all the up-to-date information as it comes out. So here is our
What a
gorgeous,
beautiful chicken breast.
isn't that beautiful? Let's see, this was probably about an 8 to 10 ounce breast. The tender was removed.
And it's 3-minute finish time.
That was a 3-minute finish time. An hour in CVap.
And what was the end point?
165.
Out of CVap.
Out of CVap. I'm going to move this over here, guys.
Yep.
Out of CVap, it was
That's beautiful.
145. 145 out of CVap. Again,
That
that's
is beautiful.
80% there. Just finish it
Yeah.
in the fryer.
The texture on that skin.
Again,
It's beautiful.
you didn't need any really other than what you had in the pan already.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of that purge or zhuzh or whatever you want to call it, just to tap on the top side of the skin, and
And
just
you
a
can
really
serve
good
that
breading.
with any type of sauce you want, or no
Wow.
sauce at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. For me, I'm lemon caper butter is screaming in my head right now,
There you
or
go.
marsala, or
Yeah.
some sort of
Beautiful. And you could
French
do
butter
that with
sauce.
pork cutlets, right?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have not done that, but between our collective
We could do
experiences,
lamb chops,
yeah,
or not lamb chops, veal chops,
veal chops,
Milanese.
yes. Oh, see,
I
fryer
know.
201.
There you go.
Yeah. So let's finish out our little smorgasbord. I'm gonna grab some fried chicken and put on there.
Okay.
I think it's all I'm in a Facebook group called What's for Dinner. And the big thing right now is, adult Lunchables, which is basically a charcuterie
Yes.
platter. So I was inspired by some of those posts that I've seen
So this is a
recently.
Collectramatic board.
Right, a Collectramatic board.
I like it. We didn't touch on it, but I was just thinking about what my family did for Father's Day, and we did a lot of seafood
Oh, right.
just because my dad wanted seafood.
Yeah. You don't get it very often, or I
No,
don't get it very
and,
often. It's a special occasion kind of thing.
And as far as doing fried fish or shellfish, or even roasting lobster,
Oh,
there's tons of uses for the Collectramatic, both pressure and non-pressure, for all those types of products as well. And I know we have guidelines for most of the fried products. I just wanted to bring that up because
Yeah.
we didn't even talk about fish at
Right.
all.
No, we didn't, but it's.
We talked
definitely-
about ribs and we didn't talk about fish.
Well, that's
I
okay.
know.
Just add it to the list of 2.0. Let's
There
go
you
growing
go.
and growing
There
and
you go.
growing.
There you go.
So this is a perfect spread for your 4th of July weekend.
Telling me.
I know, right? Any other questions, guys? Any other information that we can pass along to you?
How are the new what? Flip doors.
Yeah. Oh, yes. This is the HOV 714 and the SP1.
Yeah.
So this is a 14 shelf, and it's the top part that's got I personally love it. It's extremely handy, especially for one finger opening.
I can tell you, I've been involved with the approval of this product, both in the full size and the half size for the KFC Yum system. So we've been on that project now for 2 years. The operators, and it's approved for that system. The operators in the KFC system love it.
But it's a general market.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we
offered
have
it in the general
right,
market,
right.
but it's
Yeah.
been in the KFC system now for at least a year.
Awesome.
And like you were saying, the ease of use and the convenience of serving out of it and
Right.
still keeping temperature,
Right.
they love it. I'm selling these left and right.
Oh, excellent.
So I'm sure you guys are going to.
All right, everybody. Any other things we need to cover?
No, I
Not-
think just if you have questions, send them to us because Sam and we'll answer them anyway, any
Right.
day, anytime.
We love questions.
We do.
It pushes our knowledge and
Yep.
it pushes our
And-
pushes us to learn more. You know,
Yep.
again, you guys saw us in our first video together, the sous vide live
Sous
episode.
vide hillbillies
Yeah.
is what somebody called us.
That's so awesome.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either. We had a blast though, and
We
it was
did.
so much fun. And I always love working in the kitchen with you.
Yep.
Thank you again for
Yep.
coming to see us, and we'll see you soon.
Have a
Check-
happy 4th
Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July,
to you
everybody.
and to you. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Awesome.